Welcome back to the channel. Now this is just a short video to show you the 8 upgrades and changes we've made to Harry, our Ford campervan. Having had and used Harry now for just over 3 years, there are a few tweaks we want to make to suit the way we use our van. So far in the 3 years, the only major upgrade has been the gas hobs and the sink to the smooth, sleek look. And we've installed the gas low fillable system, all of which you can see in previous videos. And it's strange that after 3 years we're still rearranging all our cupboards and we're still adapting the van to suit our needs.
You are ready for a different kind of life. You're silent, bold, the wind is calling. You must return to the wild.
So the first change was to have a small set of upgrades related to the electrics. The reason for the changes are that we noticed when we were off-grid, like when we were on the trip to Manifold Valley for 3 nights, we noticed that the battery was getting low at that point, so we just want a bit more juice in these circumstances. Now we're not doing the electrical upgrades ourselves because we're just not confident enough, and anything electrical, Stu steers clear of. Now this is mainly due to the fact that many years ago Stu did the electrics to a house and eventually the house set on fire. So we booked Harry into auto campers for the works, and as ever we used it for an excuse for a day out. I think the best bit about having a camper van is it allows you to simply go off on an adventure at any time. So off we trundled north to Thurlestone, just outside Sheffield. So today we are having 3 elements upgraded. First to changing the battery itself, the second to the battery charging setup, and then thirdly to the solar panel. It's going to be really useful because we're hoping that we're going to be spending a lot more time in the van this year and a lot more time off-grid. We saw recently Claudia and Tim off a Dog a Day channel, who also have an auto camper but a slightly different model, have upgraded to a lithium battery. So that's what we're doing, although we decided not to go for a pair as they did, but just a single Lifos 105 due to our cupboard space. So we thought while we were doing that, we'd also upgrade to a solid 120 watt solar panel, giving an increase of 20% on the previous panel to help recharge when there's enough sun. And finally, to speed up the charge time as well as greatly improve the efficiency of the charging process, we are having a C-Tech D250 SE DC to DC charger installed. Now this is not an insignificant upgrade, as lithium batteries are not cheap, but they are very efficient, and we're planning to keep Harry for a long time, so we felt for us it was the right thing to do. We finally reach the very pretty town of Thurlestone, and we pull into the industrial estate where the Auto Campers workshop is based. Whilst Harry was having his refit, we took ourselves off and explored Thurlestone, first stopping off for a great breakfast at the Café Creme. Hunger had got the better of Stu, and although he had the full English, he forgot to film it. We then explored the town. The weather was atrocious, but it didn't stop us walking up to the Scout Dyke Reservoir. About 5 hours later, Harry is ready, and as ever, Carl and his team have done a really great job for us. Now there's not much to see, but the Lifos 105 battery is a lot smaller and lighter than the old one, and it has an app that you can check the battery status on when in the vicinity that uses Bluetooth. And the C-Tech 250 DC to DC charger is installed under the sink cupboards neatly out of the way. And the solar panel is now a better looking hard unit. Now since we've had it, we've been super pleased with it, and we're keen in the summer to test how long we can stay off grid. And then we set off for home, but this time we go the scenic route. Upgrade number 4, cab curtains.
Having watched and seen other vans, we've decided we wanted to put some curtains up between the cab area and the back area. When we're parked up, it'll add as a bit more of a security deterrent, because we'll be able to shut off the visibility from the front clear glass. We've got obviously the rear glass and side glasses have all got privacy, so that'll allow us to when we're perhaps in town and urban areas, be able to perhaps hide Harry a bit more from the inside from lurking eyes. Also, I guess that also gives the advantage if we ever wanted to go to the loo and we're perhaps in more of a built-up area, that allows us to go to the loo and shut the curtains quite easily. And the other thing is that obviously when we're wild camping, or maybe we're stopping quickly overnight, one thought process is maybe it will give us an option without having to get the screens up. Obviously we wouldn't want to use the external screens. We have got a set of internal screens. I don't know, maybe we won't need them, although they do give us obviously some thermal cover, I guess, from a heating perspective. So having looked on a few YouTube videos and watching other camper vans, we came across, I think it's Van-X or Van-X, I think it is. I'll put the link into the description and that. We saw that they got a system of a rail for Ford Transit, and also, and I think they do it for various other vehicles as well, an internal cab rail basically, and dividing curtains that go onto that rail, because we wanted to make it quite discreet. Obviously want to try and do as good a job as I can with it. They're pretty good, I have to say. The material of the curtains themselves are a better quality than I thought, and they're in two separate curtains. There's a divider in the middle, and it's got press studs basically to push together, and then also down the sides of the van you can put pop rivets and put again press studs down the side of the van as well. So that's what we're planning to do. Our van's a bit more complicated because it's got a bit of a curve between the area where I'm sitting now and the cab area, so that means the rail comes in a straight rail, but I've had to form it and bend it to go into the shape of the shape between there, and you'll see what I've done. I'll go through how I've done that as best as I could anyway, and I'll just show you how I fitted that. So that's sort of the what we're going to do, and that's the rationale. See how it goes. I hope I'm trying to take my time on it and make a good job as I can on it. So the material curtains that come with from Van-X it is. So they got the curtains themselves. They got this nice, really discreet slot that will go into the rail here. I don't know if you can see that. Down the centre and at the edges, where it'll pin against the van, but also down the seam of the in the centre of the van, they'll have these pop rivets that you'll be able to put in and put these press studs on effectively all the way down to seal. But I say the blackout, you can see it's bright sunlight outside. It's pretty good. It also comes with ties, 2 ties down each side, and obviously that'll help pull the curtains back to the edges of the van. It comes with then a set of pop rivets that I'll use my pop rivet gun on it to put these pops here. So there's various screws it comes with, but you better put these pops on against the side of the van, and it also comes with a straight rail. So I'll just show you that. So the rail that it comes with is a straight rail, so it's so about 1.5 meters long. Obviously I've bent it now, and I'll show you how I've done that, but this would be straight, because obviously some vans would obviously be straight, but I've had to form it. So with respect to the rail, you've got this bit where the obviously that's where the curtain slides into, but then you've got this flat side, and what I plan, and obviously where we plan to do, that's where we'll drill through and affix it to brackets. So that's what I'll do that way. That way that doesn't foul with the curtain shutting and closing. So the other thing I bought various L-shaped brackets, and my plan is to drill through the rail and bolt the rail to these brackets that I'm going to attach to Harry based on the curve that I've got. So it's a bit more complicated with Harry because he's got this curved shape. As ever, nothing's quite as straightforward as you think. So I've also bought some. I bought these bolts, various size bolts, to actually use to actually screw, and I'll use those with the bracket themselves. Obviously got my pop rivet gun that I'm going to use for the side of the van. So I'll show you as I build it, and I'll show you the end result. So let's see how it goes. So the first step was to get a piece of cardboard, and what I've done, I've then stenciled the shape of the curve of the divider that Harry has, because I need to form the rail against that shape. So that's what I did there, and I then took the distance from about 10 mil up from where the edge of the wood is, which would be normally here, just to set back, because obviously I want the rail to be hidden. You'll see what I mean by that. And then what I've done, I've just literally put some nails into a piece of wood, and basically I've formed and bent round either over my knee or other curved objects to try and get the sweep and the curve, and I've ended up with this. So I've basically just formed it along that shape to try and get a bit of a sweep there. It doesn't have to be wholly accurate, because I'm going to use the brackets. When I pull up to it, it'll tighten up to the exact position that I want. So that's how I use that cardboard, and I say using either my knee or other maybe round tins, etc., to try and get the bend and the shape, that I wanted either end, to get it exactly what I wanted on that. So my aim is to get brackets so it holds the rail up just above the piece of wood. And as you can see, that will bend down and into there is the plan. So I've got a bit of a sweep for where the curtains come down. It probably will mean that the curtains will probably need adjusting at the bottom, because obviously we're going to have different lengths on here, but I'll have to sort that out after, I think. So just finished. It's probably taken about 2-3 hours, but I've gone really slow at it, to be perfectly honest. So it doesn't impose that much into the van, which we was a bit worried about. I think we do need to just take the length off it a bit. We've got it tucked around here, so we're going to take a couple inches off there, but you end up with these straps here, so that you can unpack, pick when you obviously help to tow it away, stow it away. And also there's these you put these pop rivets, these little poppers here. So I had a pop rivet gun. Put these in. This just keeps it tight to the trim, and so it draws pretty well. There's a bit of faff, probably pulling it back a bit. Same on the other side here. Just undo the poppers there. And obviously, there's obviously studs to seal it there. So I say the curtains are pretty good. There's a little bit of light, but they're not perfect from a blackout, but they are actually really good quality curtains. So we're quite happy that side. And on this side, I'm really happy that I managed to put that rail on really neatly, so it doesn't look unsightly this side of the van, which I was slightly worried about.
Change number 5, wind deflectors in the front 2 windows. It gives us the ability to have the windows slightly down without the rain coming in, and it helps with the airflow in the night if we're hot, and it also helps with condensation. Now, we bought them off the Ford website, but we know you can get them cheaper. But Stu got the Ford garage to install them when they did the annual service on Harry. And change number 6 is we had installed 2 LED cupboard lights. Now, these have made such a difference to us as they're USB chargeable and motion detected to turn on. They have a magnet strip so they're easy to remove and charge and put back. Stu had to put a bit of extra glue as the shelf adhesive strip on the material wasn't quite strong enough, and we'll put a link in the description. Change number 7 came about when we had a near miss when we opened our cupboards above the newly installed glass kitchen tops and a tin of soup fell out, but luckily Stu managed to catch it. So he got some cargo netting that was intended for a car boot, and he screwed in simple hooks so that it kept it in place, but it also allows easy access when we park up, and as screws are halfway down as well, it allows for access to all items. And finally, a small addition comes in at number 8, and it follows on from where we had the new gas ring and sink fitted. We saw on the channel of Life is Too Short with Carol and Ken where they had a chopping board over the sink. So this inspired Stu to get a chopping board and buy some rubber feet and metal straps, so that when we park up we have a board that straddles the glass and it slides up and down. It allows us to put stuff on it without worrying about the glass. One of the best additions that we've put in the van. Well, we hope you found this video useful and maybe given you some ideas. Please give us a like and if possible subscribe, as it really makes a difference to the channel. But above all, we love to hear from you in the comments.
Silent falling, the wind is calling, you must return to the wild, wild.